Welcome back, and you're watching Market Fatafat on ET. Now, let's keep it going with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. And moving on to the next stock, Ankita, you picked out Shilpa Medicare for us. Why is this in focus? What's the news for you today around this?
That's correct. Shilpa Medicare is in focus today. In fact, the stock is up more than 1.5% in trade, and it is coming on the back of the fact that they've informed the exchanges that they will be selling 4% of its stake held in Saraswati Advanced Progress Technologies. And on the back of this news flow, we are seeing an uptick of almost 1.92% coming in for Shilpa Medicare.
All right, that is Shilpa Medicare that is in focus in today's trading session. But let's bring on board Vaishali Parekh as well. A very good afternoon to you, Vaishali. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's talk about IRFC. How is this one looking on the charts to you now, given the fact that this one also has seen a good run up over the last 6 months or so?
Very good afternoon to all of you, and thanks for having me. Yes, so today once again, we are seeing most of the rail stocks. So the trend is very much intact. I have a positive view for a target of 85 to start with stop loss of 70.
Keep an eye out on those levels for your IRFC. Let's move on and talk about the next one that is in focus in delivery. This one is on the back of a block deal that has taken place. Now, it's around, as of now, the change of hands that has happened is around 2.5% stake. And we've seen the stock fell as much as 3% intraday today as well. As of now, also seeing a decline of around 2.5% as well. The likely seller of that is expected to be SoftBank. So SoftBank's one of its subsidiaries is the likely seller of this as well. And now, furthermore, it was said that they will be actually looking to sell 4%, but as of now, only 2.5% change of hand as that has happened in terms of the block deal by likely seller SVF Dorwell. We'll be waiting out for the name coming in the evening as well. But they owned around 14.4% stake in the company as well. They did sell some part of their stake in March as well. March to May sometime they did sell the stake as well. But as of now, on the back of this news flow of them, a change of hands happening in delivery, we're seeing stock is down 2.5%.
All right, let's talk about Indigo. And Indigo is, or Interglobe Aviation, is actually trading at 3.5-month high. And the reason for that up move that is coming in the Interglobe Aviation is the fact that one, there's a drop in the crude oil prices. But apart from that, Indigo actually flew over 79 lakh passengers in the month of October, which is higher by about 22.2% on a year-on-year basis. This is as per the DGCA domestic air traffic data. If you look at the October market share, stood at around 62.6% versus the nearest competitors, that is Air India's market share of about 10.5%. So yes, dominating when it comes to the market share. Also, their passenger load factor measure a percentage of available seating capacity that has been filled with passengers is at about 83.3% for the month of October. So good supporting aviation data for the month of October is the reason why Indigo is at a 3.5-month high.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. And Vaishali, Aurobindo Pharma, that's the one you picked out from the Pharma pack. And a lot of Pharma names that we've seen coming and making the list of technical analysts. So Aurobindo Pharma, how attractive do you think is that it is at current levels? Because 61% uptick is what we've seen already in the last 6 months.
Yes, so I think on the Pharma pack, Auro Pharma has done very well. And I think today also, in spite of all the choppiness and all the negative news that we were seeing and market being so choppy, Auro Pharma is holding on very well and in a good momentum. So I would be looking at this stock with a positive bias for a trading target of 1020 to 1040. And of course, stop loss lies at 965.
All right, so that's the view coming on Aurobindo Pharma. Lisa, coming to you, ISJEC Heavy, why is this one in focus?
Right, so ISJEC Heavy, they had come out with their earnings sometime back, and now Sharekhan has come out with a report on ISJEC. They say that the strong performance was driven by the execution of high margin projects and even decline in the commodity prices that also has aided the margins. The new orders that are being taken by the company, that is coming at a better margin, so that will also aid the margin going forward for the company. Even the order pipeline, that also looks quite promising with traction coming from segments like sugar, refinery, cement as well as steel. And even the outlook on their subsidiaries, that is Eagle Press, that also is quite robust. Now, Sharekhan, they have introduced FY26 earnings and built in a revenue and PAT CAGR of around 13% as well as 18% respectively, and they continue to maintain a positive stance on the company with an upside of 20%, rolling their valuations forward to September earnings. So that's on ISJEC. It's up around 9% as we speak now.
All right, moving on then. Ankita, coming to you. Let's talk about Technocraft Industries. Why is this one in the spotlight?
Yes, that's correct. Technocraft Industries is in focus today. We'll quickly go through. Technocraft is in focus on the back of the fact that they have discontinued the production of Mylange yarn. It's Mylange yarn unit, which is located in Muradabad in Maharashtra, and due to the this is coming in as a result of the adverse market conditions and the losses that the company is suffering. And on the back of that, we did see stock plunging a good 1% in trade today.
Okay. Let's keep an eye out on that one. But let's move on and talk about Jindal Stainless Steel and Vaishali. How is this one looking on the charts? What's the view now for Jindal Stainless?
As you would have seen the stock, it had a good technical support at 470 levels, and today we saw a good run up. So I think there is still more steam left in this. It's right now currently at 500 levels. I would say one can buy now, even in decline, and I'm looking at a target of 530 to start with. So I am positive on most of the metal sector, because as you see, metal sector has been out just underperforming, and right now we are seeing some spurts coming in. So Jindal Stainless has shown a lot of strength in these last few days.
All right, so that is Jindal Stainless that is in focus, but let's not forget that you have a lot of realty stocks that are also in the spotlight, like Brigade Enterprises, isn't it, Vinny?
Absolutely, Brigade Enterprises is in focus. This one has actually, this morning this announcement came in that they are to develop 2 million square feet with a gross development value of around 2,100 crores in Bangalore. Now they've signed a joint development agreement with Krishna Priya Estates Private Limited as well as Micro Labs Limited, residential projects that will be spread over 14 acres. And on the back of this, today we've seen Brigade Enterprises that is in focus as well. We did have the management talk to us as well. So yes, other than the commercial leasing space, which is a bit subdued, they're expecting good growth going forward as well. So keeping an eye out on Brigade Enterprises. It's up and trading with gains of 2.16% as of now.
All right, let's move on and let's talk about Apple India and why is that one in focus. If you look at Apple India stock prices, definitely seeing a good run in today's trading session. At one point in time, the stock was trading higher by about 3%. Now it's trading higher by about 2% or so. They've actually gone ahead and filed 5 new patents in India in order to further reach their tech IP assets. On back of this particular development, the fact that they have gone ahead and applied for 5 new patents is the reason why the stock is a buzz in trade today. 3% uptick on an intraday basis. Now it's trading higher by over 1.8%.
Let's move on, talk about the next stock that is in focus on the back of technicals and charts. And Vaishali, you've picked out Indiabulls Housing Finance on the charts. So how is the chart and what is the chart actually indicating for Indiabulls Housing Finance now? Where should one expect it to move on from here on at the current levels? Do you think it's still an attractive buy?
So I would, at these levels, since 2 days you see that the stock has shown signs of reversal, and right now also it is at 191. I would definitely think so, because there is good volume, good indicators are supporting my view. And once it crosses 205, that has been the previous resistance level. So once it crosses 205, it will be ready for a takeoff, and we would expect a target of around 250 and so on.
All right, moving on. Ankita, let's talk about Coromandel. Why is this one in the spotlight today?
That's right, Coromandel is in spotlight today because it has sped up its efforts into driving nano solutions in agriculture, and for that purpose they have unveiled the Nanotechnology Center at Coimbatore, and that's the reason why Coromandel will be in focus today.
Okay, that is Coromandel for you all. Let's keep an eye on that one. But Lisa, coming to you, TVS Motors is too in focus. Why is that so?
Yes, so they have forged a strategic alliance with the European-based ML Frey. Now, this company will take charge of the distribution of TVS products in various countries through its sales, marketing as well as service networks. And talking about ML Frey a bit, it is a 100-year-old enterprise that is the largest automobile enterprise importer as well as a retailer in Europe. So with this, it is a significant step for TVS Motors to step into the global world and also expand in the global front. And if we talk about the stock price, it's up around 4%. So the street has taken this strategic alliance very positively. And not only today, but in the last 6 months, TVS Motor has given a return of almost around 40%. And it has outperformed the Nifty benchmark, which has just given a return of around 9%.
All right, moving on. Vaishali, let's talk about Tata Metallics. How is this one looking at the charts to you for now?
So I think it's at attractive level. One can buy at these levels. So overall, the trend has been very, very intact, and we are seeing that, as I just told you, that well, I'm looking at all the metal counters. So Tata Metallic is another stock which is showing some signs of a bounce back, and it would be a positive view. I would be looking at a trading target of 1,020 from here.
Right, that is Tata Metallics for you, and Vaishali stake coming on that particular counter. Let's talk about a counter that is on repeat mode, and that's actually featured even in today's edition of Market Fatafat, and that is Hero MotoCorp. Remember, yesterday during the market hours, they had come out with their festive data, and today also the stock actually is buzzing on back of those developments as well. 2.7% uptick coming in for Hero MotoCorp. This after yesterday's 3.2% uptick that it saw. Right now, it's moved a little lower from the day's highest point. The company said that it has recorded its highest ever retail sales during the month-long festive season. The stock has risen to its highest level since March 2021 as well. They've also said that to add to the festive season details, they've said that they've sold more than 14 lakh units in the retail market during the 32-day festive period, clocking a 19% growth on a year-on-year basis. And you can see that sort of a positive data reflect on the stock price as well, up again about 2%.
Okay, let's move on and then talk about the next stock, that is AGS Transact. That one is in focus after they've received an order from the State Bank of India to deploy more than 2,500 ATMs under the outsourced managed services portfolio for a term of around 7 years. Now, the deployment will be based on the transaction fees under AGS Transact Technologies and the total outsourcing model as well. So, on the back of this order, we are seeing that AGS Transact is in focus. It's around a 1,100 crore rupees order for the company, and the stock is buzzing away in trade. Look at it; it's as of now up almost 13%, trading almost at the day's highest point as well. So keeping an eye out on AGS Transacts on the back of this order win of around 1,100 crores. I believe it's also trading at its 52-week high levels as well. 89 rupees is what currently the stock is trading at.
Alright, moving on. Vaishali, let's talk about Titan. How is this one looking on the charts to you? No doubt Titan seems to be in favor when you talk about a festive season and people buying gold during the festive season. But on the charts, do you think all that glitters is gold?
Well, I would definitely agree so, because it has been in a strong trend, and I think one can hold the stock if bought in decline, or a good buying opportunity comes at around 32.50, because it's just a small trading target that I'm looking at is 34.50. So I am bullish on this stock too.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, and stock number 28 for today. That's going to be DCX System. Lisa, why is this one in focus?
Right, so DCX System is in focus because the board has approved a fundraise of around 500 crore, and they have constituted a fundraising committee for it. It will be a mix of NCDs also as well. So the share price in early morning trade, it had gone up around 9%, and it also touched 344, which was the highest level since September 11th. So yes, as we can see now that it has cooled off some gains, but it's still up around 5% as we speak.
Alright, that is DCX Systems is in focus in today's training session. Ankita, coming to you, Jyoti Structures. Why is this one in the spotlight today?
Well, Jyoti Structures is in focus today. In fact, the stock is locked in the upper circuit. It is on the back of the fact that the board has approved raising funds for up to 400 crores through the issue of equity shares on issuance of warrants convertible into equity shares or preferential basis. And on the back of this news flow, we are seeing an uptick of more than 2.5%, and the stock is locked in upper circuit.
Alright, next up, let's put the spotlight on Sami Hotels, and that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. That's because you have JM Financial that has initiated a coverage on this particular counter with a buy rating. They've set a target price of approximately 190 rupees per share. The stock, however, has given up all of its morning gains. Now it is trading lower by about 2% or so. What JM Financial is saying that they like Sami because of the ability to identify, acquire and turn around underperforming assets. They are also saying that the pan-India presence across price points, it is a play on both operating leverage and financial leverage as well, is what they have noted in their report. They also estimate revenue to grow at a CAGR of 11%, EBITDA to grow at a CAGR of about 17%, this over FY 23-26. Therefore, they've gone ahead, initiated the coverage with a buy rating. A target price that they've set is at about 190 rupees per share. However, the stock has given up all of these gains. It's trading low by about 2.2% as we speak.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Steel Authority of India sale. This one, Vaishali, when you look at it, YTD performance has been quite subdued, nothing exciting. Even in the last 1 year, the stock has not done much. Now, what are the charts indicating for sale?
So I think the worst is over, and that's precisely why I think it makes a very favorable risk-reward ratio. Also, the support lies at 83 levels, and we are seeing some momentum picking up. Well, not in a hurry, but the stock is likely to do well and would give us good returns from here on. So I would say technically very well placed with strong support at 83, 84. This stock is worth a consideration for a buy.
Lisa, let's talk about SJVN and why is this one in the spotlight today?
Right, so SJVN, they have signed a power purchase agreement with Solar Energy Corporation of India, and this is for a 200 megawatt connected wind power project, which is at an estimated cost of around 1400 crore. Well, the project that is expected to generate around 482 million units in the first year following commissioning, including a total projected energy generation of 12,000 million units during the 25-year period, which is their project year period. So yes, that is why we can see SJVN, it's up around 2% as we speak.
Okay, keeping an eye out on SJVN. Let's move on and talk about Dabur then, Vaishali. This one has been in the news for the last couple of days as well. Dabur on the charts, what are you picking up now?
So actually, I was seeing the whole of FMCG counter, and I think Dabur also technically looks very well placed. So I would say that yes, it's showing signs of reversal. A strong confirmation comes above 545. So I would focus on this stock because above 545, 550, the stock is ready towards 580 levels. So yes, this is a stock which one should consider.
Right, Ankita, let's talk about GSK and why is this one in the focus?
That's correct. GSK is in focus today because, as a part of the strategic review of the business, the board of directors have approved commercial transformation initiatives, and as a part of the transformation and to continue to remain competitive, the company will explore new innovative solutions, including an omni-channel strategy to expand their reach and coverage of the target markets. And on the back of that, we're seeing the stock surge. It is up almost 19% in trade today.
Alright, let's put the spotlight on the cement counters and especially ACC and Ambuja. And why is that? Because CLSA has come out with a note on the cement counter where they review the Q2 performance of the entire cement pack, where they're saying that strong demand and unseasonal price hikes actually aided, but valuations seem to be fair now for the companies. They said that the Q2 earnings of the 17 listed cement companies indicate a strong demand momentum and a robust outlook, with most companies expecting a double-digit demand growth in FY24. They've mentioned that the profitability fell to low single digits on a quarter-on-quarter basis and on lower QOQ volume during the seasonally weak quarter, but the price increases and lower costs indicate a sharp uptick in H2. And that said, for FY25, they are expecting demand deceleration as well as muted profitability increases. However, with the stocks trading in line with the historical medians, they expect or they are seeing limited V-rating potential. However, what they've done is they've upgraded Ambuja from a sell rating to an underperform rating, and they've upgraded ACC to an from underperform rating. They have upgraded it to an outperform rating. This is after their good performance. So on back of that, you can see both of these counters holding on to still gains. They were much higher earlier on, but now they're holding on to gains of about 0.7% each.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Samil, Lisa. Why is this one in focus today?
Actually, it is SAIL. So let's talk about SAIL because SAIL has earmarked a report which has come out with Motilal Oswal, and they have said that SAIL has earmarked rupees 1 trillion for their capex plans over the next 1 decade. But they have also highlighted that starting from FY25 onwards, the deleveraging which the company was seeing, that would put pressure on the. We'll put up the chart for SAIL on the screen. So yes, talking about continuing with it, the increase in coal cost as well as capex guidance, that is also expected to reduce the EBITDA estimates going forward for the company. And right now SAIL is trading at FY25 EV EBITDA of 5.7 times, but Motilal Oswal, they have reiterated neutral rating for the company with an unchanged target price of 85 rupees.
All right, that is sale for you. Yes, Vaishali did outline technically how the stock seems to be on a turnaround point, and yes, that is also the fundamental reason why this one isn't focused in today's trading session. But on that note, thank you so much, Vaishali, as well as Swati, Ankita, and Lisa for joining us on the show and taking our viewers through all the stocks that have been focused in today's trading session. But we also caught up exclusively with Arunish Chawla, who is the Pharma Secretariat, where he says that India is likely to become a $200 billion industry by 2030 and also become a major exporter by the same year. Listen in.
By working together with industry, academia, and the support that government is giving for both production-linked incentives, for strengthening the industry schemes, for common facilities, and for the research and development, we hope to become a 200 billion by 2030. That is 3 to 4 times the present size. We are already exporting in most sectors.
Sir, which kind of policy support can we expect for the industry going forward in terms of further growth in R&D sector, as you mentioned earlier? So do you think that the industry needs to step up its investment and the policy support that the government will also provide going forward?
We have started a new scheme called the PRIP scheme, and we are working on the detailed guidelines in consultation with the industry and the academia. Through this scheme, we'll be able to pool together both public and private resources. As you know, the medical technology industry is resource intensive, and nowhere in the world can either government sector or the private sector by itself put in sponsor or fund research of this magnitude.
Okay, and also let's listen into what Dinesh Khara had to say in terms of RBI's move and whether it's in the step in the right direction, or what he thinks about the move that is coming from RBI. Listen in.
I would say that perhaps it's a step in the right direction, considering the fact that there was a lot of concerns which were expressed by Honorable Governor relating to the kind of unsecured credit which was growing, and also the players who were extending that credit. So that is one of the reasons why perhaps this kind of measure was very much required. And I think we in the financial system, we were expecting something on the similar lines to really happen. So I would say that it is not merely the unsecured credit being extended by the banks and NBFCs, but also the NBFCs which borrow from the banking system. There is a recalibration of the risk weights, which has been directed by the Reserve Bank of India. So, which very clearly means that the capital allocation for supporting this kind of a asset class would actually go up. So, if I take the example of State Bank of India, we have done some back of envelope calculation, and we expect that our capital requirement will perhaps go up by about 55 to 60 basis point. Point is that the major demand drivers are essentially those which are like home loans, education loan, gold loan. So these are the entities, and even MFIs also. So these are the entities which have been kept out of it. So I expect that these are the major entities which are into asset creation, and also it is also a chunky demand for these kind of loans. So I think to that extent, there would be some impact, but not as significant, which should be a cause of worry. I would say that in many respects, it will probably avoid any kind of a liberal spending, which perhaps people would have taken, where people could have challenged in terms of repayment. So I would say that it will ensure the healthier growth of the demand and also of the economy too.
Conversation that SBI chairman had with ET now on the RBI's move. With that, we're totally out of time on this week's edition also of Market Fatafat. It's a goodbye for Vinny, myself, and the team that put the show together. That's our producer Snehi, our director Trevor. Thank you so much for watching.